Thank you, Ganesh, for being with us on the show. So, I have a very important question which is pertaining to the distribution and the partners like us. There's a challenge that we are facing in today's distribution thing. So, India being one of the fastest growing economy with one of the highest population, and these Gen Zs covering a pie of approximately 40% of our population, and this pie growing forward. I would just like to understand that how do you control the behavior of this generation, because they are mostly on the spending spree and not on the saving. I have handled approximately 3 generations, grandfathers, fathers, and now handling the Gen Zs. With the grandfathers, longer view, fathers also. But these Gen Zs, the behavior, the objectives of these Gen Zs is completely different. So I would just like to understand your say on it. How do you manage this kind of a population? Because going forward, this population is going to be investing into the India's growth story, and it's something which is very important to know for all of us.
So, Mani, I have 3 kids who've just recently gone to college. So I consider them Gen Z or an example of Gen Z as well, right? And so I had the money talk recently with them, right? And I told them, look, wealth is possible to be created. And there's a very simple equation to generate wealth, right? It is good behavior to the power of time, right? Good behavior just means you save a certain amount of money at least every month, and you invest that in any diversified equity fund, right? But stay persistent, because the biggest factor that will generate wealth for you is the factor of time, because that is the exponent.
Age is on their side.
And age is on their side. So for millennials or Gen Z, however you want to call it, right? They are actually going to be the biggest beneficiaries if they are willing to take advantage of the factor which is on their side, which is time, right? India is giving you one of the biggest opportunities of your lifetime, right? You have the factor that can give you the best returns on this. Please don't fritter away that advantage. All it requires is for some steady, disciplined investing month after month. What that means is, let's say from your salary or from whatever allowance you get, carve aside a certain amount that you call as investment. That is the amount that goes out on the very first day of the month into an investment vehicle, whichever one you choose, right? All your spending should happen only after that, right? Now, I know this is not easy to do, and it's very easy, for people to just spend once the money hits their bank account. So we created a simple thing called Empower, which is if you're an employee, you can agree with your employer that a certain amount gets put into an SIP even before it hits my payroll, right? These are again simple things, right? And you can do this yourself as well, right? There's nothing that you have to necessarily take this tool and do it yourself. But if you do it, what you're doing is you're putting in place a systematic plan which over a long period of time takes advantages of market upturns and downturns. It keeps that discipline going and takes full advantage of the biggest factor which you have available to you, which is time. And I'm certain that people who follow this will generate wealth. People who don't and who interrupt the process of compounding will actually not see the full benefit of it.
So one more question linked to this. So these people ask that what percentage of their salary should they invest? So if given a chance that they would like to spend 100% of the salary that they get, but what percentage of the salary should actually a population, a generation of today save, so that with the compounding effect, and as you rightly said, with the growing India, what kind of percentage they should save so that they have a huge corpus maybe 20 years or 30 years down the line when they think of retirement?
See, it's easy to give an answer like, the maximum possible and things like that, right? But it's also impractical. People do have, daily lives that they have to lead. There are expenses that they need to undertake. So what I keep telling people is at least try to keep 10-15% of your income that is coming into your bank account aside for investment purposes. Because at the end of the day, you are sacrificing a little today for a better tomorrow, right? Now you have to determine, because you will see the benefits of that only much later in time, right? So you have to realize what kind of a personality profile you yourself are, right? there will be many people who simply want to enjoy today, right? But then over a period of time, they realize that that is not sufficient, and we have not created enough for for the future. Because one thing is also certain: lifespans are increasing. When I was born, the average lifespan in India was 50 years, right? Today, that has gone to about 70. In the next 20, 30 years, that's probably going to only increase. So people are going to live for much longer than they originally thought, even when they were born, right? It is important to plan ahead and plan for that time when you will not be earning, right? So while you're earning today, think of it as it is giving you a chance to prepare for that time when you are not. So try to keep aside at least a certain portion every month, maybe 10, 15, if you can do even more, even better. But just park that money away into some kind of investments for your longer term.
Okay. Thank you so much. So Gen Zs, this was a question specially for you because I have been facing this question day in, day out, that why should you invest and how much you should invest. You have your fathers paying you pocket money, so you don't have that bandwidth to invest. So no, everybody should look at investment because we are in India, and I think India would create miracles on your portfolio 20 years, 30 years down the line. So I believe that you should look at investments, and India is one of the best possible places where you can grow your money. Thank you so much.